Hi, welcome back to the channel, and after a lot of trial and error I've managed to develop a workflow process with Fuji F-Log2 and DaVinci Resolve that resulted in a 100% acceptance rate for stock footage uploads. Here's an example of two videos. What I learnt in this process was that the scene dictates the exposure. Many people say expose at 2 stops overexposed. However, if you're using screen assist on your camera, you are actually looking at the Rec 709 image, not at the flat log image. If we look at the first of those videos, we find that we're shooting more or less into the sun. So the hill in the distance is right under the sun, and the leaves and the branches that we're looking out from are on the shady side. And the reason why we're overexposing by 2 stops is to get the detail from the shady side. The scene dictates the exposure. Now if you have a look at the second video, the sun here is right behind the camera, illuminating the whole cliff. On the camera screen with the view assist, the footage exposure is at 0 EV. We're actually looking at, because everything in the scene is lit up. We don't need to overexpose. The second part of the workflow is in DaVinci Resolve. Now in the last video in this playlist, I tried correcting the footage in the histogram view. All of those failed for technical issues. So I reworked 7 videos that had all failed, but this time I used the color wheels. I find them more understandable and you have far more control over the scene. So if we head over to my screen now, I'll show you how I work them up. Here we are in the Edit tab of DaVinci Resolve, and I'll play a bit of the log footage. As you can see, it's all flat. So now let's head over to the Color tab. Before we do anything, let's look at the histogram here. It's central. Let's do the same for the cliff scene. It's central, and also in the scopes, central. Go back to the other scene, central, but a bit on the dark side. Now the workflow process I used was to add 2 more nodes. On the third one, use color space transform. Let's put in the correct inputs. Is Rec 2020 and Fuji F-Log2. Now can you notice the difference straight away in the histogram and in the scopes? Let's go back to a previous version. Notice the histogram is still central, but the scopes are spread out. Let's go back to the color space transform node. Let's put in our color space outputs. So we're going to use Rec 709. Output gamma Rec 709. That's what the stock footage companies want. Now let's go back and look at the previous version. Histogram in the middle. Scopes is spread out. Now to the color space. The scopes are still spread out. The histogram is really wide. If you go up to the footage, let's have a look. The inside branches are really dark. Remember, we're in the shade here, looking out to the mountain which is in the sun. And this footage is 2 stops overexposed. We're going to click on node 2, go to the color wheels. So the lift wheel is the darks. We're going to lift them a bit to get the detail in the branches, which we have. Now the gain wheel is the lights. We're going to raise it a bit. It's not all the way white. The blue seems to have disappeared, but in the shadows there's detail. Now if we go to the gamma wheel, these are the mid-tones. Bring that down. The branches go dark again. Bring it up. We get in detail in the branches. It's still a bit dark. Use the lights and the darks to try and bring it to a video that looks real. Now to me, that looks pretty good. I can see the detail in the branches. It's obviously in the shade. If you have a look at the scopes, there's no blacks. We have a look at the sky. It is blue and it's bright, and there's no white in it. So visually, it looks good. It might look different on your screen compared to mine, but the scene looks real. It's not blown out, it's not too dark. So that one is ready for export. Now let's go to the next one. Here's a cliff scene. The sun's behind us, everything's lit up in the sun. And like in the previous video, looking through the trees, DaVinci Resolve brings everything to the middle, no matter how you've shot it. It seems to average it out. So let's add 2 more nodes. Put in our color space transform, input color space, Rec 2020, input gamma, Fuji F-Log2. That looks pretty real. Notice how the histogram spread out and the scopes. The brights are almost touching the top line. We do have white clouds, and some bands are almost touching the blacks. Some of these dark cave areas in the cliff. This scene is almost good enough as it is, without doing anything. But when I did it, I did put some fine adjustments using the color wheels. So let's go to a previous node. Select the color wheels. Take the blacks. I'm going to take the blacks further down so they're darker. I'm going to take the lights up. Because there's white in the clouds, this is basically touching the white line. That looks better already. And let's adjust the midtones. Do the greens look real? Do the yellows look real? On my screen, that looks real to me. So these are only very minor adjustments. And that was basically how I did it. All the footage I processed, I used this technique, and every single one of them was accepted as stock footage. I'm not making the decision, I'm leaving the decision of whether it looks right to the stock footage assessors. The guideline I'm using is to try and create the footage so that it looks real. No strange colors. In the first video, we had to overexpose to bring up the detail in the shadows. Log footage allows us to do this without burning out the sky. Remember, we're shooting into the sun, and anything in the shadows, if you want the details, you're going to have to overexpose. And in the second video with the cliffs, the sun is behind me, lighting up the whole scene, and therefore we don't have to overexpose. The scene is there for us. And in the camera, if you've got screen assist, the image is right there, so you expose to what you've got on your screen. That's what I did, and all of it seems to have worked. And then in DaVinci Resolve, the color wheel method seems to be really understandable and quite easy to use. And again, we're adjusting it to look real. We're not going to be adding any LUTs. We're simply going to be uploading these to stock footage sites. They want a Rec 709 version with no or minimal color grading. This workflow process seems to work for that. So I'm going to get some more footage, and I'm going to nail down this workflow so my stock footage uploads have a high percentage of acceptance. I've learned a lot through this process. I hope this video might help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.